The village of Osiny in the Łuków district. A few minutes before midnight, this small village in the Lublin region, located several dozen kilometers from Warsaw and the airbase in Dęblin, was shaken by a powerful explosion. It turned out that an unidentified object had exploded in a cornfield. We live about 1.5 kilometers away in a straight line, and it felt as if it had exploded in our yard. A streak of fire. It was flying as if from an exhaust pipe when someone revs up a car. There are often sparks there too. Something like that was flying, a streak of fire and a whistle. And at some point, the streak of fire began to end. The whistle ended, and all you could hear was a boom, a powerful boom. The explosion was so big that nearby buildings were damaged. We know that as a result of this explosion, windows were broken in nearby apartments and houses. The most important information for us is that the residents of these houses were not harmed. No one was injured. Although the first report of the explosion reached the police around midnight, the site of the explosion was not located until morning. From the very beginning, everything indicated that we were dealing with a Russian military drone. This was confirmed by expert analysis. The object found is most likely a military drone. It was most likely damaged by explosives. Many questions remain unanswered in this case. It is not known exactly what explosives were used. The biggest mystery is how the military drone ended up on our territory about 100 kilometers from the eastern border. No violations of our Polish airspace have been recorded from either Ukraine or Belarus, i.e. the areas bordering Poland. Perhaps the drone managed to deceive our systems. We cannot rule out the possibility that the machine was launched from our territory as part of an act of sabotage. The Polish Ministry of Defense is openly talking about a Russian provocation. I have tasked the operational commander with preparing a comprehensive report on today's Russian provocation and recommendations resulting from this situation. Photos of the drone engine that crashed in Poland resemble those used in Shahed-type unmanned aerial vehicles called Giran-2 by the Russians, which are used every day to attack targets in Ukraine. It is easy to check, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm sure our specialists, both military and civilian experts, are already working on it, because many parts, although used in this type of engine, are imported from China, so I think this type of analysis will not take our technicians too long. According to the Ministry of National Defense, we are dealing with a specific type of decoy drone used to confuse air defense systems. In our assessment, it was a so-called decoy, a decoy drone which did not carry a warhead, but carried a self-destruction warhead. Regardless of what exactly fell in Osiny, the situation is very serious. Meanwhile, no government representative has appeared at the scene since this morning, except for the Lublin province governor. 3 buildings were damaged, but the most important thing at the moment is that there are no casualties. No one was hurt, and there were no injuries. We will provide the necessary psychological support to residents who need it. The National Security Bureau has announced that the President is receiving information about the incident directly from government institutions. Polish President Karol Nawrocki is being kept informed about the situation related to the incident in Osiny in the Łuków district. The head of the National Security Bureau, Sławomir Cęckiewicz, discussed the matter with the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of National Defense, Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz. Information about the incident is also being provided to the office by government institutions, and the management of the National Security Bureau remains in contact with the operational command of the armed forces. Similar Russian provocations have already occurred repeatedly in Scandinavia, the Baltic states and Romania. An important context in this situation is the continuing talks on peace in Ukraine.